Now we're looking at our double replacement or displacement, doesn't matter what you want to call it, reaction. In this one we have sodium acetate plus aluminum oxide. And so when we look at this, we want to identify our cations. So in this case, sodium is our cation as well as aluminum. We can think of them as swapping places. So we know that sodium and aluminum are going to want to swap places. In this case, we do have a pretty massive polyatomic ion, acetate, right here, as well as the anion oxygen that's bound to this aluminum. So we're going to see if sodium and aluminum will swap places. So when we do that, we end up with aluminum bound to our acetate. So bring the whole thing in parentheses, C2H3O2 over, plus, and I'm going to go down a little bit, sodium oxide. So we need to make sure that these are proper compounds. So if we look back at sodium and acetate, when we look at sodium on our periodic table, we should note that it's in the first column, which we've said has a +1 charge. That means that this entire acetate must have a -1 charge. And the reasoning behind that is that we have no charge associated with the total compound. So we know that +1 plus a -1 has to equal 0. And so we've talked a lot about how the sum of our charges should equal 0 if we have a neutral compound. So that brings us over here to our aluminum acetate. Well, if we know based on our periodic table that aluminum generally has a +3 charge and acetate generally has a -1 charge, we need to crisscross. So that 1, use a different color, should come down here, and that 3 should come down here, and we see that they combine in a 1:3 ratio. So we don't need to put the 1 there for aluminum, but we do need parentheses and a 3 outside those parentheses for the acetate. Now that brings us to sodium oxide. All right, we already know sodium has a +1 charge. Oxygen, we should have noted on our periodic table, generally carries a -2 charge. We're going to do our crisscross. So that -2 will come down here. The 1 will come down here. And we see that they combine in a 2 sodium to 1 oxygen ratio. So we can put that 2 here. Taking a look at our reaction, we note that we have 2 sodium on this side. We've got aluminum, acetate. There's 3 acetates, only 1 aluminum here. On the opposite side, we've got 2 aluminum. So I think that's kind of going to be the best place to start is with this 2 aluminum. So if we have 2 aluminum here, we should put a 2 out front of the aluminum on the product side. That way we have 2 reactants of aluminum and 2 products of aluminum. What that does is it also applies to this acetate. So 2 times the outside 3 tells me that I have 6 total of this acetate polyatomic ion. So that means I need to come over here to the acetate on the reactant side, and I need to put a 6 out front. So the reason I'm putting a 6 out front here is because in parentheses I really only have 1 acetate. On the product side I have 3 times 2, which is 6 acetate. I need to make sure that I have 6 on the reactant side. Now you'll notice that I would also have 6 sodium on the reactant side. On the product side, I've got 2. So what times 2 will give me 6? 3. So far we've made sure that sodium, acetate, and aluminum are balanced. Now let's check just the oxygen, not the oxygen in the acetate, just this oxygen here. I've got 3 on the reactant side. If I go over to the product side, ignore the acetate, 3 times this oxygen gives me 3 on the product side, so we're balanced there as well. So our total reaction is 6 sodium acetate plus 1 aluminum oxide yields 2 aluminum acetates plus 3 sodium oxide.